Okay, it's time for Samurai. The job that destroyed my controller settings during Stormblood. Okay, destroyed is a strong word, but see, in Stormblood, I didn't exactly wait until everything was all max level before I started making my standard setups. And I had this rule that there would be one side for flank and another side for rear. And I also wanted for Samurai to have its, special things here to be in the same order. The thing is, back then, I didn't realize that Samurai had positionals because I was very low level before the trait actually put them in. And so, when I finally got it, it was backwards. Which means that thanks to Samurai, I had to redo not just the Samurai setup, but all of the melee setups. So, let's get started. So anyway, because of that, we're going to start with our GCDs. They are already separated, everything's separated, and all ready to go. Our combo starter is Hakaze. This is where I often start combos, but you might be thinking I'm going to go to Shifu and Jinpu next. I won't. We're going to go straight until the end. And that's because of my beautiful gauge right here. If I line them up, which I could, for our Sen gauge, and it's mostly lined up. We've got our Setsu, Getsu, and Ka right here. And we're going to try to replicate that into our hotbar. So, I'm just going to place them down, sort of, like this. This is not the final location, just placing it. You know, the idea that we're going to have them roughly in the same order. And it's important to note that Kasha, which is the Ka, has a flank combo bonus. And because of this, this is the flank side. Not just for Samurai, but for all melee. Right is flank. And Gekko has a rear combo bonus, and that means Gekko is the rear side for all melee. Yukikaze doesn't have this particular thing, but it is a GCD. So we're going to place it right here, because we do want it to be on the action buttons. So, Jinpu leads to Gekko, and Shifu leads to Kasha. Shifu's easy. There we go. Start from Hikaze, Shifu, Kasha. And you know that you end on the flank, because this is the flank side. But for Jinpu, we've got two possible locations. We can either put it here, and then you go like this to here, or this way. For reasons I'm going to mention very soon, Jinpu will go here. And we're going to talk about the reason right now. We've got Iaijutsu and Tsubame-Gaeshi. Tsubame-Gaeshi says ability, but if you read, it says it triggers the cooldown of weapon skills upon execution, cannot be executed during the cooldown of weapon skills. What that means is that even though it's listed as an ability, it essentially functions as a GCD with a separate cooldown, and is therefore sort of a GCD. Iaijutsu and Tsubame are going to be together, so that it's a reminder that maybe you can do another one. And that is the reason why Jinpu will stay over here. So your combos, of course, Hakaze goes into Kasha. That's your combo for here. Jinpu into Gekko for this one, and then Hakaze into Yukikaze for here. This way they are in order, and you will have a rough idea, if you haven't played Samurai in a while, of which buttons you're going to have to press. and that was very important. So, we have a few more weapon skills. Specifically, we have our ranged attack, our mobility, and we've got our AOEs. Mobility has two sections that I assign, as in two choices. Usually it either goes here, but Jinpu's already on it, or... And I just realized I did this on the wrong hotbar. That's an accident. Let me just quickly fix that. Cross hotbar copy to current to current 1. So we do want this to be on the primary hotbar. And let me just remove this from the expanded. My little accident. So, our designated location for mobility is usually here, but Jinpu's already there, which means we'll go to our backup location, which is in the expanded. And that's my hotbar 2. In my case, it could be different for you. So NP will go right here. This means if I go back to my primary, it's in the expanded, left and right together. Our AOEs are going to also be on the expanded. This is going to be very similar for most jobs from here on out. So the combo starts with Fuga, and then we're also going to try to keep this relatively in order. So Oka goes here, and Mangetsu. Because Oka is this one, and Mangetsu is that one. That takes care of all of our GCDs. So that means now I need to start on the OGCDs, the real ones. And the other shared actions. We're going to go to the double cross hotbar, place our beautiful limit break in the same location that it always is. Sprint, oh my gosh, having to say that every time just kills me. Macro 99. System config, gamepad, macro 99. I don't know why I have to change camera, I usually have 98, but it doesn't really matter. Sprint is macro 99. I'm just going to put it on the side, just to remind myself that I've already covered this. So what about other rule actions? And the reason I want to start with the rule actions is because I do have rules that I've already established from other jobs. This might be the first melee that I'm doing, and therefore there will be some new things, but we do have a few assigned rules already. Specifically, the anti-knockback, which in this case happens to be arm's length, and not shortcast, but the anti-knockback always goes on this particular spot right here. Likewise, there is a rule that I started to establish, I believe, with the physical ranged. That second one should be here. Then we've got our rule about resources. There are essentially a few resources available to samurai, depending on what you consider a resource. I consider Hagakure to be a resource because it converts, but really, Hikishoten is definitely a resource because that's literally all it does. And this is our assigned resource slot when we have one. Then I usually have a buff and a party buff section, but we don't really have party buffs for samurai, so we have two sections for self buffs. One right here, and the other one over there, or as you would see in the double. I'm going to put Meikyo Shisui over here, and Hissatsu Kaiten right there. So those are our buffs. And the reason why Meikyo is on the D-pad is because between the two it has a longer cooldown. But this is not the only pattern. We also have a pattern of party mitigation. And yes, Samurai does have one. All melee do. It is called Feint. Sure, only some attacks are affected by it, but it does count as a party mitigation. So, that means that for our shared actions, we still have Leg Sweep, Bloodbath, and True North. Bloodbath is kind of considered an emergency thing, which usually this section right here is the emergencies, and which is often used more in solo content, maybe if you were doing solo Palaces of Dead or something. So Bloodbath was right here. Likewise, True North also belongs here. But for the stun, we're going to leave that until later. The tricky part is Third Eye, because Third Eye can cause both Merciful Eyes, which is definitely more along the lines of something to help yourself, or Hissatsu Seigan, which is an attack. So does that mean I put Merciful Eyes here, or do I put Third Eye here? So we're going to leave that for later as well. There are two more rules that are already established, and that's your jump forward and your jump back, and Samurai happens to have both. The jump forward is not double. So that would be Hissatsu Gyoten, and the jump back is on the Expanded, left and right, and that's Hissatsu Yaten. We also have some AOEs that we could place, as well as some attacks. Notice that I separated Shoha because these all cost Kenki, and Shoha does not. But it also has its own kind of way of being activated that even though it says it has a recast of 15 seconds, realistically it's actually going to be longer before you get to actually use it. And these also cost Kenki, but they're AOEs, and that's why they're separated. The ones over here, well, there's a reason why I have Tsubame repeated, and I'll explain that when I get to it. But these are kind of non-attack OGCDs. So we're going to focus on the attack ones first, because usually I do try to keep the attack OGCDs on the primary bar, if they make sense. So we're going to take Seigan, right here, Shinten, and Senei, right here. Then we're going to repeat that same idea on the AOE side. Now just to illustrate, let me grab this cube then, here, and Gurren over there. It doesn't have to actually stay there, I'm just illustrating that these are sort of the same. Because Senei shares a recast with Gurren, it's just one of them is single target, the other one's AOE. And Shinten and Kyuten have the same cost, but one of them single target and the other one's AOE. So we're going to try to keep that same order on the AOE side and the Expanded, where Kyuten is above and Gurren is below. This leaves just one slot available, because remember, I'm going to assume you will be copying this to both sides so that you don't have to remember left and right. So then the question is, what would I want to repeat? If you're AOEing, you're probably not going to want to be using Seigan, because that Kenki cost would probably be used for an actual AOE Kenki. So we don't need that. But maybe you'd want to use the AOE Iaijutsu. But you can see whether or not you have it already through your gauge. So, well, you might want it there, you don't really need it there. You will know if you have it available and be able to come back. But what you will not be able to see is your Tsubame. So that is why Tsubame gets to repeat. What this means is that if you want to use Shoha, we need to make sure we can see it regardless of whether you are on the primary or on your AOE, and therefore Shoha needs to go on the double. Which, given that you don't use it super frequently, it does make sense. And that means we also have a few spots available. We could either put it here or put it there. I'm going to choose to put it there, but if you want to switch Hagakure and Shoha, you can. Hagakure just makes sense, once again, to have it there because now we're stepping into the territory of, well, would I want to see that even if I'm AOEing? And I think you would. Definitely. So now it's just personal preference whether you prefer to have Haga here or Shoha. But we still have a few more to go. We've got Meditate. Meditate I'm going to put over here. It's something you do use sometimes, but it's very specific usage. It's perfectly fine to put on a D-pad. Even if you, for some reason, are AOEing and you want to go to Meditate, I think you'll be able to remember it. It really is fine, but if you don't like it, you could bring it up, I suppose, to the D-pad on the double. So that leaves Third Eye and Merciful Eye. And I really struggled on which one to bring up, but essentially I decided Merciful Eye belongs here, and Third Eye will go into double. The idea being that if you are AOEing, and you would like to use either Seigan, for whatever reason, or Merciful Eyes, well, either way you want to use you want to see your Third Eye. And that's the reason why, just because it provides visibility into the other two actions. Leg Sweep will go here, and this is actually very important, because if you remember, on the physical range, the interrupt went on this spot right here. So you might be thinking, wouldn't my stun go there? No. The stun needs to be in a different spot than the interrupt. Why? Because tanks get both. And remember, we try to make things work for all the jobs. So it's very important that Leg Sweep is not here. It must be there. And that is the setup. We have 2 extra spots, so if you want to change things around, you certainly can. Alright, it's summary time. On our primary bar, we've got Hakaze, Shifu, Kasha, Jinpu, Shinten, Seigan, Senei, and Leg Sweep. And on the left side, we've got Iaijutsu, Tsubame, Gekko, Yukikaze, Merciful Eyes, and Meditate. On our Expanded, which is left and right together, we've got Fuga, Oka, Mangetsu, NP, Kyuten, Tsubame-Gaeshi, Guren, and Yaten. And on our double, we've got Gyoten, Kaiten, Ikishoten, Hagakure, Shoha, Feint, Arm's Length, and Meikyo Shisue. And on the Expanded, double, but on the left, we've got Third Eye, Bloodbath, Second Wind, True North, Limit Break, and spots for potions, tinctures, whatever else you need. And that is Samurai. Okay, I do believe this is it, and if you have any comments, concerns, questions, anything you want to write, there's the comment section. Otherwise, I shall see you all for the next video. Dragoon!